Super Eagles of Nigeria will be in action tomorrow in a huge semi-final clash against the Atlas Lion of Morocco. In this video, I'll take you through the match preview between the Super Eagles of Nigeria versus the Atlas Lion of Morocco. We'll take a look at the ranking globally, how this country stands when it comes to football. We'll look at the historical meeting between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Atlas Lion of Morocco. And also we'll take a look at some of the key players to watch out for. I'll give you my predicted 11 and my score prediction going into this particular encounter. If we take a look at the FIFA ranking that was released sometime in November-December of 2025, currently, Morocco, high flying in Africa, currently ranked 11th in the world and number 1 in Africa, while the Super Eagles of Nigeria are ranked 38th in the world and 5th in Africa. Even though ranking doesn't play football, but currently we can see that the Atlas Lion of Morocco have been in red hot form coming into this particular clash, as their good run of form, even as the host nation, has played a key role for the Moroccan national team to have gone thus far into the semi-final stage. So let's take a look at the historical record between Nigeria and the Atlas Lion of Morocco. Record shows that the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Atlas Lion of Morocco have met 11 times, with Morocco winning 6 and the Super Eagles of Nigeria won 3. They have had 2 draws in the process. So the record actually shows that the Atlas Lion of Morocco currently have the edge over the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So let's take a look at some of the key meetings between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Atlas Lion of Morocco in AFCON history. The first time the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Atlas Lion of Morocco met was in a FIFA World Cup qualifying matches over 2 legs. In September of 1969, the Super Eagles of Nigeria went to Morocco and were defeated by the Moroccans by 2-0. And in November that same year of 1969, the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Morocco by 2-1. So if we take a look at their notable meeting in AFCON, in 1976, the Atlas Lion of Morocco defeated the Super Eagles of Nigeria in a semi-final clash in the African Cup of Nations and went on to lift their first ever trophy in the tournament history. Fast forward to 1980, the Atlas Lion of Morocco met with Super Eagles of Nigeria in the 1980 final of the African Cup of Nations, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Morocco by 1-0 and also went on to lift the trophy for the first time in the tournament history and also in the history of Nigeria. In 2000, Nigeria and Morocco met in the AFCON again that was co-hosted between Nigeria and Ghana. In Group D, Nigeria defeated the Atlas Lion of Morocco by 2-0 to actually top the group and went on to eliminate Morocco in the African Cup of Nations. They met again in 2004, hosted by Tunisia, and coincidentally, they were in the same group again in Group D, as Morocco went on to defeat the Super Eagles of Nigeria by 1-0. So if we take a look at their meeting, it has always been a very tight contest between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Atlas Lion of Morocco historically. And history got to show that the Atlas Lion of Morocco have the edge over Super Eagles of Nigeria coming into this semi-final clash. But how do we get to this point in this ongoing AFCON being hosted by Morocco in 2025? If we take a look at the group stage, Morocco was placed in Group A as the host nation alongside Mali, Comoros and Zambia, while the Super Eagles of Nigeria was in Group C alongside Tanzania, Tunisia and Uganda. So if we look at their previous games in the ongoing AFCON, in the opening game against Comoros, the Atlas Lion of Morocco defeated Comoros by 2-0, and in their second group game, they played a 1-1 draw against the Malian national team. And their final group games, they defeated Zambia by 3-0. The Atlas Lion of Morocco was paired in the round of 16 against Tanzania, and they went on to defeat Tanzania in a very tight contest by 1-0, and that lone goal was scored by Diaz. In the quarterfinal, the Atlas Lion of Morocco was paired was paired against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, and the Atlas Lion of Morocco defeated the indomitable Lions of Cameroon by 2-0 to book a place in the semi-final clash that will take place against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Now, if we take a look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the opening group game of the Super Eagles of Nigeria was against Tanzania. Nigeria defeated Tanzania by 2-1. And in the second group games against the Cottage Eagles of Tunisia, the Super Eagles of Nigeria defeated Tunisia by 3-2. And in the final group game, despite much rotation in the squad by the Super Eagles of Nigeria head coach, talking about Eric Schell, but the Super Eagles of Nigeria still went on to defeat Uganda by 3-1, clinching all 9 points in Group C with 100% record going into round of 16. The Super Eagles of Nigeria were given the members of Mozambique in the round of 16, as the Super Eagles of Nigeria thrashed the members of Mozambique by 4-0 and booked a place in the quarterfinal against Algeria. The Super Eagles of Nigeria dominated the game against the Desert Foxes of Algeria and went on to defeat Algeria by 2-0 to book a place as well in the semi-final that will be going down tomorrow against the host nation, talking about the Atlas Lion of Morocco. So, if we look at both countries coming into this game, both countries have definitely been in a red hot form, and as such, we expect a very big clash going into this game. The Moroccan national team has been tipped as the favorite to actually defeat the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But take nothing away from this game. It's definitely going to be a tough one, as the Super Eagles of Nigeria coming into this game have been in a red hot form, and arguably the best team so far in the African Cup of Nations, with 100% record still ongoing, having played 5 games and won all 5. While the Atlas Lion of Morocco have played 5 games, they have won 4 and drew 1. Their draw came against Mali in their second group game in the ongoing African Cup of Nations. So looking at this big clash of semi-final game in the ongoing AFCON, notable players to watch going into this particular game. If you take a look at the Super Eagles of Nigeria, players to watch out for. Number 1 is Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen has proven himself to be one of the best strikers in the world of football, having led the front line of the Super Eagles of Nigeria with his pace and energy, giving trouble to defenders. Another player to watch out for is Wilfred Ndidi, one man whose vision in the ongoing African Cup of Nations has been second to none. If Alex Iwobi is in his A game, then the Super Eagles of Nigeria stand every chance to actually have a good game over the Atlas Lion of Morocco. Another player to actually watch out for is the Nigerian centre back, talking about Kelvin Bassey, the big man that has always been the defense minister for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And as such, all of these players are players to watch out for in the big clash against the Atlas Lion of Morocco in tomorrow's encounter. The Super Eagles of Nigeria coming into this particular game have had 2 clean sheets in their last 2 games in the round of 16, where they defeated the members of Mozambique by 4-0, and it dominated play against the Desert Foxes by 2-0. So another player we should watch out for in the Super Eagles setup is the Super Eagles goalkeeper, talking about Stanley Nwabali, who have not actually been called to action so far in the ongoing African Cup of Nations. But then tomorrow is definitely going to be a big test, and as such, for Stanley Nwabali to actually have his game, he needs to actually watch when he comes out for timing, and also when to actually use his foot and know when to actually release the ball. So if we take a look at players to watch out for in the Moroccan national team, one man you need to watch out for is Brahim Diaz, the Real Madrid star. Brahim Diaz currently is the top scorer in the African Cup of Nations with 5 goals, scoring in every game. And that simply means the Super Eagles defense line definitely have a lot of work to do in order to stop the high-flying Moroccan winger, talking about Brahim Diaz. And one star man also to watch out for is Ayoub El Kabi, talking about the Moroccan striker. So far, he has had 3 goals in the competition so far and have been flying high, very tall and very good in the air. So, at this point in time, the Super Eagles defense line in Kelvin Bassey and Simi Ajayi will definitely have a lot of work to do to stop Ayoub El Kabi and also Brahim Diaz. And also, a player to watch out for in the Moroccan side is Bono, the goalkeeper, who have currently so far conceded only 1 goal in the competition so far. And as such, will be facing a big test against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And also the fullback of the Moroccan national team, talking about Achraf Hakimi, who plays the right back, and Mazzari, that plays from the left back, are players to also watch out for in the Moroccan national team. As such, the movement of Achraf Hakimi and Mazzari actually creates more attacking option for the Moroccan national team coming from behind. So it's definitely going to be a tough match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Moroccan national team. Now, there are some key battles to definitely watch out for. The first one is the battle between the Nigerian left back, talking about Bruno Onyemaechi and Brahim Diaz. Definitely, Bruno Onyemaechi actually did his assignment against 35-year-old Riyad Mahrez in the game against the Algerian national team. But then, coming into this particular encounter, Brahim Diaz is a young winger like him, and as such, Bruno Onyemaechi has to be at the top of his game, with 100% being perfect in order not to make mistakes. As Brahim Diaz is one attacking right winger that knows how to take the little space and make things happen for the Moroccan national team. So another key battle to watch out for is Victor Osimhen versus Haggard, talking about the Moroccan centre back. It's definitely going to be a key battle between both players. So that is one to definitely watch out for. And Victor Osimhen, so far, have actually proven to be that big defender, that big attacker, that big striker with energy, power, and pace, as against the precision of the Moroccan defenders, who have actually conceded only one goal in the competition so far. And also the midfield battle between Alex Iwobi and Hal Nawi in that midfield. So, if Alex Iwobi happen to have the edge over Nawi in that midfield, then the Super Eagles of Nigeria stand a chance to actually get the better of Morocco. So, my predicted 11 going into this particular game is just unfortunate that the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be without their team captain, talking about Wilfred Ndidi. So, with the absence of Wilfred Ndidi, the Super Eagles of Nigeria will set up in a 4-3-3 diamond formation, and in goal will be Stanley Nwabali. The fullback, the right back, will be Bright Osai Samuel. The left back, I will go with Bruno Onyemaechi. And of course, the centre back pairing will be Calvin Bassey and Simi Ajayi. In absence of Wilfred Ndidi in the deep-seated role in the midfield, I will go with Fisayo Dele Bashiru, and also alongside with Alex Iwobi and Frank Onyeka. The three attacking midfielder will be Ademola Lookman, Victor Osimhen, and Ako Adams, with Ademola Lookman playing the diamond attacking number 10 role in going into this particular game. So, who will be in your predicted 11 in the game against the Atlas Lion of Morocco? Drop your thoughts down below. Predictions. Going into this particular game, definitely it's not going to be easy, because it's definitely going to be a tough one between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Atlas Lion of Morocco. But if we look at how those players or how the teams have played so far in the competition, currently it's going to be the battle between the best attacking line, talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and the best defensive side in the African Cup of Nations so far. So if we look at it, the Atlas Lion of Morocco have conceded just one goal, but they have scored 9 in the process, while the Super Eagles of Nigeria have conceded 4 goals and have scored 14 in the process. So it's definitely going to be a power tussle of the attacking line of the Super Eagles of Nigeria against the precision in the back line of the Moroccan national team. And as such, I hope to see the Super Eagles of Nigeria attack line do the needful against the Moroccan defense. We actually had similar situation in the quarterfinal setup against the Algerian national team. Consider just one goal coming into that particular game. And Lucas Zidane was one man that was actually being talked about coming into that particular game, having considered only one goal. But the powerful attack line of the Super Eagles of Nigeria put 2 goals past Lucas Zidane that night, and the Super Eagles of Nigeria went on to keep a clean sheet. So coming into this game, I'm definitely confident of the Super Eagles attack line putting a goal past the Moroccan defender. And as such, if the Super Eagles of Nigeria mount pressure on the defense line of the Moroccan side, Haggard and Mansina will be prone to mistake, as playing under pressure has not actually been their thing. So far, we have seen the system at which the Super Eagles of Nigeria is playing the game in this AFCON. And also, we have seen how the Moroccan national team are also also approach game in the AFCON so far. The Moroccan national team usually set up in a 4-1-4-1 formation, while the Super Eagles of Nigeria set up in a 4-3-3 formation, or you can call it a 4-1-2-1-2 formation. So it has been something that has been working for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and we hope to see a very tight contest. I will not be surprised if the game actually go into extra time. I won't be surprised because it's definitely going to be a tight contest. But I see the Super Eagles of Nigeria getting the edge over the host nation, talking about Morocco. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will defeat Morocco by 1-0. It's definitely going to be a tight one. Definitely. And watch out for that. I wouldn't want to give you the prediction of who the goal scorer might be. Any of the Super Eagles attack line can just get the goal. Talking about Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, or Akol Adams. But I know for sure that one thing, the defense line of the Moroccan defense line will have their eyes on Victor Osimhen, and that is where they will actually get it wrong, because Ademola Lookman and Akol Adams might just be the one to cause the damage. So my prediction for this game is Super Eagles of Nigeria 1, Morocco national team 0. So going into this particular clash, who and who will make your predicted 11 in the absence of Wilfred Ndidi in the midfield, and what will be your score prediction going into this big semi-final clash? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Catch you in the next video. Bye.